Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank the organizers for the invitation. This is an extremely important conference that highlights not only the clean energy and the winter package of the European Commission, but also the broader energy developments within the EU, globally, as climate change is a key issue that we all have to address, and also in our region where a lot of important statements have been made, as I would say a cosmogony is happening in our region with the potential for Greece to become an energy hub. And allow me to repeat once again, not only East Med, but also TAP, the LNG in Alexandroupolis, the upgrading of Revithoussa, and of course the possibility, which I should have mentioned before, of the exports of American shale gas through CNG and LNG to the European Union. Such exports are now happening to Poland. This is a very first important step, and we are all looking forward to this and to the further development of this possibility as an alternative source of energy supply for the European Union. The energy transition and the clean energy package of the EU is extremely important. As you know, the European Union has undertaken a very strong commitment to cut CO2 emissions by at least 40%, a very high percentage by 2030, and to ensure energy efficiency by 30% also by the same date. These are extremely important targets, that of course putting energy efficiency first is an important priority for the European Union, and its leading role in achieving global leadership in renewable energy and providing a fair deal for consumers. In reality, as regards the consumer market, important developments will occur with the possibility for consumers to select their energy suppliers, as well as to produce their own electricity in smart systems that will be developed in the future. And in that respect, innovation is extremely important, as innovation supports not only the climate protection, but also eco-innovation and, of course, renewables that are becoming more and more important in this respect. Let me stress, and this has been said by previous speakers, I think Minister Maniatis has mentioned this, that we are now in a reflection within the European Union as regards the 5 scenarios that were proposed in the white paper on the future of Europe. And in that respect, I would like, and this is a personal plea, to encourage us all to support the scenario 5, which is the scenario requiring more Europe, more initiatives. This is what we need. We need the bicycle to move fast and not to stop. And in that respect, the energy union, the banking union, a defense union, that are key elements in this scenario 5, can and should be further supported. Just to let you know that energy is present in all the other scenarios as well, including the variable geometry ones. But in my personal opinion, if we want to preserve what we have, we need to move faster and we need to do more. And in that respect, this will also be an opportunity to better develop the energy union and to better pool our own resources with our partners. Let me also refer to the Circular Economy Action Plan. We have now celebrated the first anniversary of this report. And in this report, energy efficiency and renewable sources of energy are in the center of circular economy. We had a communication on waste to energy. Waste can become an energy resource. We need to look into this. Biomass can also be extremely important. The President has mentioned all that before, and in that respect, we can produce electricity, cogeneration, biogas, and biofuels, which are extremely important in the energy mix, and which will also boost eco-innovation that we all need. Let me also stress that in the Clean Energy for All Europeans and in the Commission's recent communication on this clean energy for all, the potential of islands to host pilot innovative projects and to ensure the drive of Europe's transition into a smart, low-carbon and inclusive path is highlighted. And in that respect, I would like to mention that today in Malta, a political declaration will be signed on clean energy for the EU islands. This is a major achievement, and I am personally very happy as I have contributed to this exercise, which has started with a conference in Heraklion, Crete, a few months ago on insularity to develop the concept of insularity in relation to circular economy and territorial cohesion. This conference was followed by another conference in Malta under the Maltese presidency to follow up the exercise and possibly lead to another declaration in addition to the one that was signed in Heraklion. As Malta is also an island state, together with Cyprus, and of course in Greece we are the champions in terms of insularity. So the idea was to develop circular economy, insularity, territorial cohesion, and all the tools that we can use to support renewable sources of energy, energy efficiency on the islands. And it is fortunate that DG Energy has followed up with a dedicated initiative on clean energy for the European Union islands, which covers the 2 island states plus all the other islands of the European Union. And in that respect, important, let's say, conclusions and points are highlighted in this declaration that, on the one hand, acknowledges that the islands are isolated. They are not connected to the internal market of the EU, and therefore there are no economies of scale. They cannot be supported as such by the trans-European networks of energy and of transport. And in that respect, we need somehow to create artificial bridges to link the islands with the mainland of the European Union and give them the possibility to benefit from the economies of scale that the single market foresees. Moreover, the islands rely still heavily on diesel fuel and oil to generate electricity. And we know that very famous Greek islands have this dependence on fossil fuels. This has negative impacts on the environment, on their image as green islands, as we should try to develop the concept of green islands in relation not only to the Greek islands, but to the EU islands more generally. And moreover, they are not connected with the EU's electricity and gas networks. Some of them are, but most of them are not. And therefore, it is important to see how we could promote renewable sources of energy on the islands. In that respect, I would like to highlight that in the Paris 2015 climate agreement, the vulnerability of the islands to climate change has been highlighted. I need to speed up. Okay, I will. And therefore, the effort to do more as regards the islands becomes even more important. Let me just highlight the conclusions of this declaration, which will be very important for all of the islands and in particular for the Greek islands. The conclusions are that there is a joint determination to further promote and support tailor-made clean energy transitions for islands while preserving security of supply. And in that respect, for the Greek islands, we could, and there are ideas in that respect, develop a program that could combine small LNGs for some islands and or renewables, wind, solar, possibly wave solutions with hybrid. Professor Andriosopoulos was referring to batteries. This is another revolution. This is something that we can promote. There is innovation in that respect, and this is a possibility that can be supported. And moreover, this declaration refers to all the possible financial instruments that are available, both under the EU, but also through EIB loans or public-private partnerships to support this kind of initiatives that will be extremely important for ensuring that the islands will have energy security, will be resource efficient, we will have the possibility to ensure sustainable development, and of course not rely anymore on diesel and oil, but develop their own capacity on gas and on renewable sources of energy, something which the declaration highlights and which in Greece it is possible through a dedicated program to develop in the coming months. Thank you very much for your attention.